Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Rajajana Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Tiravanachaari Yamuna Tiravanachaari Yamuna Tiravanamadhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Tiravanachaari Yamuna Tiravanachaari Yamuna Tiravanachamadhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotar Shnata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotar Shnata Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Kota Vaishnav Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Se Kaho, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shambhakun, Radhakun, Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mathura Dham Ki, Navadvip Dham Ki, Mayapur Dham Ki, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Tulasi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Gaur Pramanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Naranayam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayasa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavaduttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance on classes in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed in loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we will be continuing in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 51, Verse 32. Shira Prajakara Shranto Nidraya Pahetendriya Shayesmin Vijane Kamam Kena pyuta pito duna. Chira prajagaro shranto. Nidraya pahetendriya. Shayasmin vijjane kamam. Kena pyuta pito duna. Chira prajagara shranto. Nidraya pahatendriya. Shayasmin vijjane kamam. Kena pyuta pito duna. Shira prajagara shranto. Nidraya pahatendriya. Shayasmin vijjane kama. Kena pyuta pito duna. Shira prajagara shranto. Nidraya pahatendriya. Shayasmin kama. Shira prajagara shranto. Nidraya pahatendriya. Shayasmin vijjane kama. Kena pyuta pito duna. Word for word meanings. Chira, for a long time. Prajagara, because of remaining awake. Shranta, fatigued. Nidraya, by sleep. Apahata, covered over. Indriya, my senses. Shaye, I have been lying, as in lying down. Asmin, in this. Vijjane, solitary place. Kamam, as pleases me. Kena api, by someone. Utapitaha, awakened. Aduna, now. Translation. And this is Muchakunda speaking to the Lord, Sri Krishna. I was fatigued after remaining awake for a long time, and my senses were overwhelmed by sleep. Thus I slept comfortably here in this solitary place until just now someone woke me. Please repeat. I was fatigued after remaining awake for a long time, and my senses were overwhelmed by sleep. Thus I slept comfortably here in this solitary place until just now. And someone woke me. So there's no purport. I'm going to read the Tikas by Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami writes, having told his name and birth, he hides his inner feelings and tells of the external cause of his sleep and his actions. He does not mention the cause of his staying awake for so long out of humility. And Sanatana Goswami writes, having told his name and birth, he hides his inner feelings and tells of the external cause of his sleep and his actions. He does not mention the cause of his staying awake for so long out of humility. My senses were oppressed by sleep. I slept nicely, kamam, not for personal enjoyment. Until now, there was no disturbance to my sleep. So I'm going to go on and read maybe 2 more verses. Text 33. Sopi basmi krito nunam, atmiyen naiva papmana, anantaram bhavan shrimal lakshito mrita shashanaha. Translation. The man who woke me was burned to ashes by the reaction of his sins. Just then I saw you, possessing a glorious appearance and the power to chastise your enemies. Purport. Kalyavana had declared himself the enemy of Sri Krishna and the Yadu dynasty. Through Muchakunda, Sri Krishna destroyed the opposition of that foolish barbarian. And then I'm going to read the tikas for this verse. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, I see you, the punisher of enemies. Through me you had your enemy Kalyavana killed. And Jiva Goswami writes, Nunam indicates conjecture. He was turned to ashes by his own sins. Thus his offense was removed. This indicates Muchakunda's humility. Because his offense was removed, he attained great fortune. Sometimes Shriman is seen instead of Shriman. You killed or punished your enemy here by your intelligence, Amrita Shashanaha. Another version has Amitra Shatanaha with the same meaning. And then I'm just going to read one more verse. Text 34. Tejasa te vishayena puri drashtum na shaknumaha hatojasa mahabhaga mananiyo si dehinam. Translation. Your unbearably brilliant effulgence overwhelms our strength, and thus we cannot fix our gaze upon you. O exalted one, you are to be honored by all embodied beings. And there's no purport for this verse, but Jiva Goswami writes, since our strength is defeated by your power, we cannot ask many questions, prashtum, such as, why have you come here? Where will you go? What are you doing at this moment? Another version has drashtum. Since we cannot even see you, what is the question of speaking and asking questions? Therefore, Brahmanas and others respect you. That is befitting. O person with greatness, more than all other great persons, Mahabhaga. The form Bhaga from Bhaga here indicates one who personifies all good qualities. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadapti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru and Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajina Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Pitam Scha Hey Krishna Korna Sindho Dina Bando Jagapate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshri Rishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vyebcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bhagavatam class. Ishwar, would you be able to give me a glass of water, please? Thank you for joining me. Today, we're reading about Muchakunda. He's just woken up from a very long nap, and he was woken up by Kalyavana, and he had a benediction that the first person that woke him from this long nap would be burnt to ashes. So Kalyavana was burnt to ashes. But Kalyavana was chasing Krishna. And Krishna ran into the cave and did so in just a way that when Muchakunda woke up, he was able to burn Kalyavana, which served many purposes. I wanted to read the description of Krishna book because it touches on a few things and it, brings this part of the pastime all together. I'm just going to read a few paragraphs from when he wakes up, when Muchakunda wakes up. And this will also cover some of the stuff that Drishta Prabhu was speaking about in class yesterday. If no one heard the class, I encourage everyone to listen to it. I only listened to it once. I wanted to go back and listen to it again and take notes because he made so many good points. When I was listening to it, I think I was walking or driving, and I wish I had a pen and paper because I was like, okay, I'll write this down. But then there was another one. I was like, oh, I got to write this down. And, there's just it's such a good class. Anyways, some of his points are in this Krishna book. When Lord Krishna appeared before Muchakunda, the king saw him dressed in a yellow garment, his chest marked with the symbol of Srivatsa, and the Kaustuba jewel hanging around his neck. Krishna appeared before him with 4 hands as Vishnu Murti, with a garland called Vaijayanti hanging from his neck down to his knees. He looked lustrous, his face was beautifully smiling, and he wore nice jeweled earrings on his ears. Krishna appeared more beautiful than a human can conceive. Not only did he appear in this feature, but he glanced over Muchakunda with great affection, attracting the king's mind. Although he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all, he looked like a fresh young boy, and his movements were just like those of a free deer. Still, he appeared extremely powerful. His influence and vast power are so great that every human being should be afraid of him. When King Muchakunda saw Krishna's magnificent features, he wondered about his identity, and with great humility he asked the Lord, "My dear Lord, may I inquire how it is that you happen to be in the cave of this mountain? Who are you? I can see that your feet are just like soft lotus flowers. How could you walk in the forest full of thorns and pebbles? I am simply surprised to see this. Are you not therefore the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the most powerful amongst the powerful? Are you not the original source of all illumination and fire? Can I consider you one of the great demigods, like the sun god, the moon god, or Indra, king of heaven? Or are you the predominating deity of some other planet?" Muchakunda knew well that every higher planetary system has a predominating deity. He was not ignorant like modern men who think that this planet Earth is full of living entities and all others are vacant. The inquiry from Muchakunda about Krishna's being the predominating deity of a planet unknown to him is quite appropriate. Because he was a pure devotee of the Lord, King Muchakunda could immediately understand that Lord Krishna, who had appeared before him in such an opulent feature, could not be one of the predominating deities of the material planets. He must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who has many Vishnu forms. Muchakunda therefore took him to be Purushottama, Lord Vishnu. He could see also that the dense darkness within the mountain cave had been dissipated by the Lord's presence. Therefore he could not be other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Muchakunda knew very well that wherever the Lord is personally present by his transcendental name, qualities, form, and so on, there cannot be any darkness of ignorance. He is like a lamp placed in the darkness. He immediately illuminates a dark place. And it keeps, I was going to continue, but it continues on to describe how Muchakunda, he's not just a regular person. He's born in the family of King Ikshvaku, or how do you say? And this is a very important demigod, very important person. He's also the family of Lord Ramachandra, is that right? Or he comes from the same family. So this is a very important person. He's a devotee of the Lord. But in this pastime, he's slightly covered over, kind of wondering, who is this person? Of course, he just woke up from a long nap. So, when you wake up from a nap, you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to come to your senses at first, So he was a little angry. He burned somebody, and then now he's still waking up trying to figure out, and he's kind of blinded. It's so dark. His eyes are trying to adjust. But this isn't just any kind of, little daylight or sunlight. This is the source of all illumination, Krishna, And so Muchakunda, we can see, and it kind of gives us idea in Krishna book that he understands that Krishna is the supreme, but he's still waking up trying to figure it out. And then he's seeing all these signs, and he's like, it must be Krishna, it must be supreme. And if we go back to this, we go back to the verse, Muchakunda is saying, you can't fix his gaze upon you or Krishna, and he must be an exalted one. He must be honored by all beings. And then I was thinking honored, which basically means worshipped, And then I'm thinking worship, we're all trying to worship Krishna, but why worship Krishna? Why worship anybody? When I was thinking about that, because during the past week and a half, I've had a lot of ups and downs in this wild experience, and so a lot of things come into question. And it's like, why do we even try to worship Krishna? And one thing I was thinking of is this world is so insane. It's so crazy that everyone is agitated, everyone's irritated, everyone is suffering. So we're all trying to attain some sort of peace, right? And the only way to do that is through Krishna, through service to Krishna and through service to his devotees, Krishna's devotees. And the reason I bring that up is not to go too into depth, but about a week and a half ago, I lost my mother all of a sudden. I was in the kitchen doing Raj Bhog. I had an inkling that she wasn't doing well the night before, so my family was saying, okay, you should come up and visit, because we don't know what's going to happen. But so, I'm in the kitchen cooking, trying to do my service. But still in the back of my mind, I have this, agitation, for lack of a better word, And it's right before the offering, I get a call, and I'm trying to, there's like 10 different preps going on, trying to figure out, frying something's boiling over, trying to chaunce this, trying to spice this, add salt. And then my dad calls, and I could tell by the tone of his voice, he's like, he was just telling me it's not looking good. You got to get up here. The ticket was already bought. We're discussing the details. Anyways, I had to get off the phone real quick. And in my mind, I could tell that, things were going south. But I still had to continue on with the service. It's like 10 minutes to the offering. What am I going to do? Just walk out and leave Krishna with no lunch? So I continued, made it through, and then, I came upstairs and I don't remember who was doing the RT. It doesn't matter. They weren't there when I came up, but, I kneeled down in front of the deities. I couldn't even look at the deities, to be honest. And I'm just praying in front of the deities, crying, and just trying to be humble, trying to be submissive, and trying to understand what is going on, trying to pray for my mother, trying to pray for myself, trying to pray for everybody involved, trying to understand what Krishna's plan is. And I tell all this because, I mentioned, why worship Krishna? Why do all these things? And I was questioning this while I'm in New York. I just seen my mother who'd passed away, and everybody's crying, suffering. I'm crying, and it's like, what? And I know everybody else is thinking, why would you even worship God? Why even think about these things? But what else are you going to do? This is the only way to attain peace. And I was thinking, the reason I tell this example is because I was thinking about this a lot of time when I was there. By all accounts, by all calculations, I should have been a hot mess. I should have been intoxicated, falling over, crying, not able to move. That's what I thought would happen. But that didn't happen. And why didn't that happen? Because as all this chaos is happening, all these emotions are going up and down, I'm still thinking about Radha Golokananda back here. I'm still thinking about service. I'm still thinking about, okay, here I am in this material world. This is a prison. This is first-class prison, the best prison you can find, right? You can enjoy, you can do anything you want, but this is a prison. It's meant to wake you up. These experiences are meant to be snap out of it, okay? Take surrender, take shelter, be humble. And then when you do, you can attain some sort of peace. Otherwise, I would, who knows? I would have got into a car wreck, God knows, been drunk, anything could have happened. But instead, the only explanation I can think of is that since I've been trying to become some sort of devotee of Krishna and trying to serve Krishna's devotees, Krishna gave me that some sort of peace of mind, that kind of ease at heart to be okay, everything's going to be all right. This is part of a greater plan. This is not, it's not just about you. This involves everyone. This is just, it's just a big plan. We're all in it. We're all in it together to wake up, to learn that our real purpose in life is just to serve Krishna, to make him happy. That's all. It's so simple, but this world is so complicated and so complex, and there's so many diversions and so many ways to get lost. But when we have these jarring moments in our life, that's when Krishna consciousness can really step in. That's when you can really take shelter and be okay, Krishna, thank you for waking me up, thank you for being merciful and not making things worse. Thank you for being merciful and letting me be of service and take shelter. And also I was thinking, okay, maybe you get this far, but you also have to keep going and praying not to fall down, praying to always be in the association of devotees, praying to always be in this, Krishna's service, in the service of the spiritual master, in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Even, I was thinking, I couldn't find the example. Drishta Prabhu maybe would know, that maybe somebody asked Srila Prabhupada once, like, how do you not fall down? Or I can't remember, but Srila Prabhupada even himself said that he prays every day not to fall down. He's always praying. We think that Prabhupada's so exalted in these things, but even the pure devotees are praying constantly not to fall down, always to be in the service of the Lord. So, it's kind of connected to the verse, but I just wanted to bring up that point that it is worth it to worship Krishna. It's not a sectarian thing. It's not a Hindu thing. Sometimes people look at Krishna and it's like, this is like blue boy. It's like a Hindu thing, but it's not. It's just okay. It's coming from India. That's where it's prevalent now. And there's some aspects of Vedic culture which can be considered Hindu culture, but it's beyond that. Krishna is beyond that. He's transcendental. And, it's all these things you can't wrap your mind around. But if you surrender to Krishna, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then everything starts to make sense. You may not understand everything. You may not grasp everything. But then there'll be some sort of peace. You keep going. Krishna's plan will start unfolding. No one can understand his plan, but we can start to become at peace with it and become at peace with our part in it unfolding. And one other thing I just wanted to mention. There's a lot of things I could talk about with regards to my mother and her funeral and everything in my trip, and I'm sure I'll be speaking about those things in future classes. But during the funeral mass service, the priest there was talking, and he actually knew my mother. He went to college with my mother, and we've known him for a long time. So he's known my mother for a long time, and she's always been a sad person, always thinking, not worth anything, like having this real feeling of worthless. And I know I kind of inherited that myself, and I feel like everyone to a certain degree probably has that, like I'm not worth it, like I'm useless, I'm worthless. Even in Krishna consciousness, you may feel like I'm worthless, I'm hopeless. But that's just Maya. Don't let that defeat you. Don't let that take over your life. Don't let that ruin your life. Don't let that conquer you. Let Krishna conquer you. Let him be the focus. Just always keep Krishna in your mind. Always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Anyway, sorry for that tangent of a class. I hope it was connected somehow to the Bhagavatam. Hopefully you got something out of it. Thank you for your attention. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayatakam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipine Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Jaya Vishabhanu Dadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Dadhi Navashashilekhe Vishabhanu Dadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishakhe Dadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Jaya Karunam Gurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Gurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Shri Rupa Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Shri Rupa Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Gaur Premanande O Radha